You know what it's like when you have that back to school friend? Like when you're going back to school and you have that friend that you hadn't seen since, the end of the school year, and then you have to wait all summer to see him, and then you go out to school and you finally see him and you're excited. That's what it's like with Savanah Tujague. NC State's offensive line coach, Garrett Tujague's daughter, Savanah Tujague, joins the show. She's back, ready for the 2026 season, and she'll most likely join us for the season 4 recaps as well, occasional recaps as well. And we have her back on the show. And we're talking about the most underhyped and overhyped teams in each Power 4 conference. Her thoughts on NC State season going into the 2026 year. You're not going to want to miss all things college football, especially talking with Savanah Tujague. Return to the Sav right now. You're not going to want to miss it. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and follow along on all audio platforms, Podbean, Spotify, Apple. Catch us on True Voice Digital. You're not going to want to miss anything. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Pigskin Frenzy.
Saturday's here and the crowd is going wild. A brand new season, that championship style. Big plays are coming, the rivalry's real. Get ready for that Pigskin Frenzy feel. Frenzy! It's college football, yeah, you know the deal. This is Pigskin Frenzy.
Before, welcome to Pigskin Frenzy. Beautiful Thursday afternoon. I am Joel Norris. Hit subscribe, follow on all platforms. Like I said in that intro before, ladies and gentlemen, I was hyping her up on that intro, and I was saying, you know what? We have to get her back on. I was super pumped. You guys have been asking me, like, when is she coming back? We haven't seen her since December. It's one of those things where I feel like it's like a back to school thing where you haven't seen your friend all summer and you're like so excited to see her again and see that person again in general. And she's back. So, ladies and gentlemen, she is the daughter of NC State offensive line coach Garrett Tujague. She is Savanah Tujague. A golf clap, ladies and gentlemen. Savanah, what is up?
Not much. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. Yes, it does feel like school's like back together. I'm like, oh, it's football season. Time to rekindle all my friendships. So with my podcasting peeps. So super happy to be back. Super happy that it's almost college football season and just can't wait to talk ball with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pumped that you're back. Like, I'm excited. I know I'll probably hit you up for recaps like we did last year as well. So I'm excited. How was your summer? That's what I want to ask. Let's just start it off conversational, man. I just want to ask how your summer's been. I know that you've had a lot going on. I've had a lot going on. So I just wanted to ask, like, what you been up to pretty much?
I love that question because a lot of people actually don't know what college football coaches do with their time off. So if you're not familiar, college football coaches get 3 weeks, and it is the first 3 weeks of July. It's cut a little bit shorter if you have a week 0 game because you get to start fall camp a week earlier. So for my dad, cut a little short this year. But me and my family, we're big lake people. We'll be on a boat. We'll be doing the water sports, sitting by the beach, reading our books and eating snacks. And so we quite literally did that for 3 weeks. We go to a lake up in Northern California and just chill, make dinner every night, play a whole bunch of cards. This year, super fun. Watch the World Cup. Me and my brother both lived in other countries for a really long time. So it's fun to cheer on the U.S., of course, but also our respective countries that we lived in. So had a great time this summer. What about you? Do you do anything exciting?
So I don't know if you've been on a cruise or not. I was on a cruise, and that was my first cruise ever. I've told this story on other shows, but I really haven't told it on this show. So I need to tell it now, I guess, on Pigskin Frenzy. Went on a cruise. Very fun. Not going to lie. A lot of my followers know I've been on, but it was unique. Let me just put it that way. We went I think we went to Honduras, Cozumel, Costa Maya. I think we went to those 3 places. It was really fun, unique. Never been, had a very interesting water park experience. Probably won't go back there. And I won't name the place, but I probably won't go back there. But overall, I mean, the whole atmosphere, it was lively, fun. I mean, it was almost like you were at like a carnival. Almost like inside a ship because the boat was big. It was a Royal Caribbean boat. Shout out to you guys. And it was just fun. Like overall, I mean, we went to karaoke a lot, so I think that was fun. Most of my fun experiences were watching people sing karaoke, and that was hilarious. We went to the boardwalk, watched a lot of shows there. The food was great. I would recommend Windjammer. That's a good buffet place to go to on the boat. I just overall, I think the whole experience was fun. Would love to do it again. Don't know when. I don't know if we're going. Usually I take my breaks around May, so don't know what we're doing next May yet. But that was fun, interesting experience. I have never been on a cruise before, so yeah, like I said, it was interesting to say the least. Interesting and fun. Yeah. Man. It's been a minute because last time we were on the show together, we were talking about bowl games. Now the season is already here. I feel like now that, because I look at the calendar, it's August 13th, and I'm just sitting here and I get goosebumps, right? I'm just like, man, we're so close to week 1, but week 0, because we count week 0. We count week 0 on this show. We're college football psychos, so we count week 0 here. So guess the unofficial would be week 0. So I know, and I don't know if we can talk about this a little bit, and we'll have a fun question at the end before we go, but let's talk about NC State a little bit. Shout out to Brooks Austin. We talked about CJ Bailey a couple of weeks back. I want to talk about NC State a little bit. They have a week 0 game ahead coming up against Virginia. I can see on your face, you're a little bit, you're nervous. I mean, you're nervous about every game, but you're a little bit anxious about this game. How do you feel about NC State this season? You may like me a little bit more now as a friend. I put NC State at 4 in my conference standing projections in the ACC. I'm a believer in NC State this year.
So
how do you feel about them this year?
Who did you have above them?
Who did I have above them?
Yeah.
Miami, SMU, and Louisville.
Okay, fair enough.
But I have NC State in the top 5.
Yeah, no, I was just curious who you had before them. Yeah, NC State. Everyone knows I'm really superstitious, so I don't go too much into it. I don't want to say too much. I never want to hype them up because NC State's a school that does a lot better being the underdog, being doubted. But I will say this, and this is something that's like super important. It's like you said, CJ Bailey. I think he's great. He's a phenomenal quarterback. And I think that the best thing about CJ Bailey is that you hope as like a coaching staff in general, and sorry, I'm probably taking this away. You were like, what is she doing? But I promise there's a point to this.
No.
When you're a coaching staff or a football coach, you hope and pray that the players that you have embody the things that matter to you, right? Whatever those pillars and principles are. I don't want to speak for the whole staff at NC State. I don't know if this is actually one of their pillars. They have pillars and there's like 10, so it might be one of them. But loyalty means so much to me and my family, and I know it means something to my dad. And so it's so cool to watch players embody the things that you are trying to lead by example and show. CJ Bailey said it best at ACC Media Days. He loves NC State. It's where he belongs because they believed in him, right? And so I think just setting aside, I think actually that plays into the football aspect of it, right? You are at a place where you know they believe in you. They know that you have the talent. They know you have the ability. They know you can be great. And so go be great. Go be great, dude. Be the player that every school wishes they had these days. That's like a legend, because it doesn't happen anymore because everybody transferred. And so I think that just speaks really highly of CJ and the type of person that he is on and off the field. And I think that will translate into the product that he puts on the field. Of course, he has a good surrounding staff. He has Duke Scott at running back, and people are worried because Hollywood Smothers had transferred to Texas this offseason. But if you watch the Georgia Tech game, this is the game he played, and it's a game that NC State upset a top 10 team in the country last year. So I wouldn't worry about it. He has a good supporting cast in the receiver room as well. Obviously, we lost some talent, but we gained some talent. And some of that talent that we gained was CJ Bailey's teammates from high school. And if you don't know anything about that, he went to a high school in Miami with Jeremiah Smith, and they were all about as good as Jeremiah Smith. So it's good, that connection. Offensive line will be great. The defense, they did a lot better in the portal this offseason, just got better talent than they did the year before. It's year 2 under Coach Elliott, who's our defensive coordinator. And so I expect to see some improvement on that as well. And that's kind of my analysis for NC State. But yes, going into week 0, I am nervous. I was saying it before we hopped on live to Joel. A week 0 in conference game against the previous school your dad coached at before the one he's at. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
No, I mean, and I get it because a lot of people don't know what it's like to be like, okay, look, everybody, online who, you're this coach sucks, let's fire him. It's like, you're a coach's kid. I hear all that, and that breaks my heart for my family, for my dad, or for whoever, is in that profession. So I get that 100%. And I know you've said people, like you said it on my show, like, he may need to go. You said that before. You said that about coaches on my show before. So, but I know you understand where it comes from. So I applaud you in a way because I know you understand all that heat, if that makes sense. You get that.
Yeah, I think the best way I can say it is I'm never rooting for any coach's downfall. I'm never rooting for any coach to do poorly. I'm rooting for every single one of them because I know what it's like. And it comes with the territory of the job, right? Like all these coaches signed up for this job knowing that was part of it. But I will say that, like, as much as fans have a right to say whatever they want about it online, like, people like me who are coaches' kids have every right to not see it. And those are the only people that get muted and blocked on my page. So, and it's, again, you could be well within your right, but I don't have to see people talking crap about whatever coach I feel like if I don't want to. And yeah, I will, like I said, I'll never be rooting on people's downfall, but I absolutely understand that sometimes one era and chapter needs to close and another one needs to open. Certainly.
Yeah, 100%. And I love that answer because, and I agree with you. So Coach Dorian is hyped. When I said that he was hyped, I listened to him. He does not want to be at the back burner anymore. He wants to contend. He's pretty much let that out there. Do you feel that same energy about NC State? Like, okay, we're ready to just go out there and, take on the whole conference. Do you feel that a little bit or no?
Like I said, I'm too scared to get too hyped about anything. That just doesn't work for me. I would say that, like, yes, 100%. Like, do I think if there was a year that NC State could get it done, it's this year? Absolutely. I really do. I would say that the best thing about the coaching staff at NC State is that the coaches that Coach Dorn has surrounded himself with is, like, everybody brings something to the table in terms of, like, functionability of hype like that, right? Like, my dad, hype coach, like, he'll hype everybody up. He brings the woo factor, like, very much who he is. The tight ends coach, Gavin Locklear, is also like that, like, very, very hype. Coach Dorn is like that. Sometimes I see him get super fired up. But of course, then you also have the people who, like, need to remain, like, calm and level-headed, and that exists too. So I think it's a good balance on the staff of who's who.
Yeah.
And that's just funny. Now I want people to, like, now I have an idea. I want to ask on social media who thinks who is who, because that's a great question.
Yeah, and I'm glad that my question turned into a question for your post. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I helped you out with your social media. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
And the reason why I keep asking about it is because I put them in the top 5 in my conference standing projections for a reason. I believe that NC State has the capabilities to have a 9 to 10 win year. I really do. A lot of people put them on the back burner, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm seeing something different than others. I guess I just believe in NC State a little bit more than others, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm more hyped up on them. Maybe I'm more hyped up on y'all. So I
love it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I know it's a tough conference. I mean, Miami's up there. And this is kind of a good segue into the most overhyped and underhyped teams in their Power 4 conferences. I know the ACC's hyped up with Miami at the very top. It seems like it's Miami and pretty much everybody else with Darian inside there, and that whole offense is just probably going to run wild. But do you see any overhyped teams in the ACC? Before we go to the underhyped, do you see anybody that's kind of overhyped a little bit?
I think that Miami is overhyped, and that's not to discredit anything that they've done. And I actually think that they will be good this year. That's not what I'm saying. But I think the hype, if people are like, they're going to be as good as last year. You guys, last year they had 2 defensive end taken in the top 10 picks of the NFL draft and a quarterback who had been to 3 national championships. Like, that's hard to reproduce. Yes, do they have one of the best wide receivers in the in college football? Sorry, my mind's on the NFL for a second. Absolutely. Malachi Toney is phenomenal. They lost their starting guard and their starting tackle last year as well. Like, they supposedly have other good defensive ends, and they return their nose guard, who's incredible. But I think people are expecting this product to match last year's product, and I just don't see it happening. I don't want to discredit Darian Mensah. I think he's a good quarterback. He beat me last year, right? So, like, I don't want to discredit that. But people undervalue experience. People win national championships or make national championship appearances because they know how to handle it and they've been there before. It's the same reason that Miami beats Texas A&M, because Miami players have the experience of making it to national championship games, Carson Beck, right? And so I think that I think they'll do super well. I think that they'll get far in the ACC. They always lose a game they shouldn't have. Last year, that was Louisville. They lost to them. And so, like, do I see that happening again? Yes, absolutely I do. Darian Mensah lost last year to Tulane at Duke. I think that game's emotional for him, and I don't see him beating Duke this year. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, does Darian Mensah take that step to overcome the emotional aspect of it? I don't know. We have yet to see. So as much as I think that they are rated and how they should be and favorites to win the ACC, I still think that they're overhyped for what they're going to actually put out on the field. They lost a lot of talent.
I think mine's a little bit different. And I agree with what you're saying. I do believe that they did lose a lot of talent, but I think Miami, to me, is properly rated. To me, because I think, and this is different opinions on this, I think they upgraded at quarterback. To me, I like Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck is good. I don't think he's better than Darian Mensah. I think Darian Mensah, talent-wise, is a lot better. But I do agree with your sentiment on probably overhyped in terms of playoff, maybe. So I think they'll make the playoff. But in terms of, okay, are they a championship team? We may need to sell down, maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you on Darian. I think Darian Mensah's ceiling is much higher than Carson Beck. So I do agree with you on that too, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to win the Heisman. A lot of people think he's going to win the Heisman. I do not think he's going to win the Heisman. Go back and watch my episode for Tuesday. I said Dante Moore was going to win it. But for me, I think Clemson is overhyped. And I'll tell you why. I mean, what? Coach's poll was 23, right? That's where they were ranked? Why are they ranked? Yeah. And I'm not trying to be rude, but why are they ranked? I don't think they should be ranked. How they finished last year, 7-win year. Congratulations. You did good, but you also are decent at least, but not good enough with the talent that you had. You had one of the most returning productions in college in the sport last year. Now you lose a lot of that talent. You're rebuilding a little bit. New offensive coordinator coming in. I know Christopher Vizina is probably going to be the starter, either him or Tate Reynolds, but I would think it's going to be Vizina because he has the most experience. And you bring back, I believe it's Wesco and Moore, right? They bring back Wesco and Moore, which is great. But you look at everything else, and everything else is retooled. Yeah. Have a tough game against LSU coming up. I just don't know. I really don't. I just don't see them losing that much talent and immediately just, okay, we're going to have a 9-win year like that. I love Dabo Swinney. I'm a big Dabo Swinney guy. I like him, but I just think they're maybe a little bit overhyped. Underhyped. I'll just start it off really quick. I said NC State. I think Cal is a little bit. I really like JKS at quarterback. I think as a redshirt sophomore coming in there, I believe that he has a lot more. I mean, I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. I just think he could be even better. Which is a scary thought, honestly. He had a lot of offers last year to leave. He didn't. That's loyalty. And he believes in what Tosh Lupoy is doing. I believe that their defense is going to be upgraded as well. I think Cal's going to win some games that you're probably not expecting him to win. So I think underhyped would be Cal for me. But what is your underhyped teams in the ACC?
Yeah, I would agree with you on Cal. Cal has one of the most experienced offensive line in the ACC as well. And you're right, JKS played as a true freshman. The jump from true freshman to sophomore is impeccable. Every quarterback for the most part. I mean, look at CJ Bailey, look at Arch Manning, look at all these people, right? So I think you're right. With his ceiling is nowhere that we've even close to seen yet. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the defense does. They got some transfers from Oregon and I believe even LSU. And obviously Tosh Lupoy is a defensive guy. So I'm interested to see that. The schedule is against them in the sense of just that 3-hour time difference, man. You got to play a lot of games with that 3-hour time difference, and that's tough, but I agree. I think they'll win a couple that they shouldn't. My other underhyped team is Duke. I think people have counted them out. And look, I hate saying Duke. I literally hate it, right? My dad lost to them last year. I freaking in-state rival. I hate it. But I think that they're underhyped. I think that people underestimate the job that Manny Diaz can do. Manny Diaz did a good job at Miami when he was there. Being a head coach at a private school in the ACC is where he thrives. He won the ACC championship last year. Don't count out the Duke Blue Devils for me.
Man, Manny Diaz, and that's a good pick. Manny Diaz is a really good coach. A lot of people don't give Duke and Manny, or at least Manny Diaz, enough love for what he's done. I think he's done a really good job. And plus, they're like, okay, yeah, Duke, nah. And I'm like, dude, they just won the ACC championship. What are you talking about, man? Duke, yeah, celebrate them, man, at media days. But and he saw it. That's why he called it out a little bit. He saw that, okay, we should be getting a little bit more love than this, right? And they should be. So they're right. But Duke's a good one. I like that. I'm curious to see what I know it's Walker Eggett. I think he's most likely going to be the starting quarterback there. I'm curious to see what he does for the Blue Devils there. So moving on to the Big 12. I said on my bowl predictions episode Tuesday that playoffs going to have 2 Big 12 teams in there. A lot of people have said, okay, what were you on that day? But that's just my bold take, I guess. I think the Big 12 has some good top teams, really good top teams. Do you think I was going to ask the question. I'll ask the question. Why not? Do you think Texas Tech's overhyped or no? Are they properly rated? I mean, I'm shrugging right now.
Yeah, it's tough. I think it's a great question. I think it's tough. It's a tough spot, right? With their whole quarterback debacle with Brendan Sorsby. And they obviously lost a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. BYU will be pretty good. But obviously Texas Tech was far better than BYU was last year. But Bear Brockmeyer obviously also has more experience going into this year. So I think it's a loaded question. If I had to just say it straight, I would say at this point they're properly hyped.
Okay. Yeah, and I believe in Will Hammond too. So that's a good one. I really honestly, a lot of people said, and I've said it a lot, that it's a fall off pretty much. And I'm like, I don't believe that. I think Will Hammond's a really good quarterback. When healthy, he can ball. So I don't think they're losing a lot, really, with Will Hammond. They're gaining a lot with Will Hammond. So I agree. I think properly rated is good. I think BYU and Houston are as well. I believe in Houston. A lot of people may not think that, okay, they may be underhyped. Sure. I think they're properly hyped. I mean, I rated them in the top 3 of the Big 12.
I like it because most projections that I've seen have Utah in the top 12, or excuse me, top 3 for the Big 12. And I would disagree with that.
Yeah.
I would say that and sorry to turn it into who's overhyped, but for me, it's Utah.
Yeah, I would say that too. I was just gonna say that actually.
Yeah.
I think Morgan Scaley's gonna do a phenomenal job there. I really do. I just think that Utah's just a little bit overhyped. I think there's a little bit of turnover there to make me believe right now, right off the bat, that, okay, Utah's going to be skyrocket, contend for the Big 12. I have Arizona ahead of them, and that's my underhyped team, Arizona. I think Arizona is going to be a problem. And I think that Noah Fafita is going to have a season to where maybe not Heisman finalist season, but close to it. And it's going to ask a lot of people, at least in the draft room, like in scouting combine, like, hey, who this guy, right? Noah Fafita. I just think he's a good quarterback. I really do. I believe in his offense. I think Brent Brennan turned it around last year, and I believe that Arizona has a shot at doing a lot better than last year. I mean, winning 10-plus games this year. So I'll say Arizona will be my underhyped team for the Big 12. And then overhyped, I'll probably say Utah. But you can go your underhyped team. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. We agree from top to bottom, I guess, on the Big 12, because I would also say Arizona. I think it's just more favorable schedule for them this year in terms of just like how it's set up, how ASU will be, because rivalry week does matter more than people acknowledge sometimes. And so, I mean, I think you said, I couldn't say it better myself. I would also pick them. I think Noah Fafita is a great quarterback, and I think last year was a step in the right direction for that program, and that they will only build upon that this year.
Yeah, and then one more will probably be Oklahoma State for underhyped for me. I just think, I mean, or North Texas North, whatever you want to call it. I call them North Texas North because pretty much the whole team went to Oklahoma State. But I really like what they're doing. I really do. I like Drew Mestamaker. I think there's mixed opinions on him. I am one of the guys that do like Drew Mestamaker. I do like him. I think he's a really talented quarterback. Their running back is unbelievable. Caleb Hawkins, he's amazing. I believe he's probably going to be at least top 5, top 4 maybe in rushing in the Big 12. Caleb Hawkins will be. I like their offense. I think defense is I mean, you can question a little bit on their defense, but I call them the Auburn of the Big 12, and which means I think they're going to overachieve. I really do. There's only really one way to go from their last season, and that's up. And I think they will go up for sure. But
I think that's great. I think adding to that, because I think you're totally right, is that there's no expectations for anything at this point. And playing with no expectations is always a great place to be.
Yeah. I mean, you're not playing. I mean, okay, we're not thinking about, I mean, at least they may be thinking about it, but from my point of view, I don't think they're thinking about playoff right now. I think they're taking it one game at a time.
Yeah.
I think you should take it as, if for Oklahoma State, there's only one way to go from here, and that's up. Like, we can't go any farther, from last season.
No,
right?
100%. Yeah.
So I just think if they can just turn it that way and just make it, okay, we're just going to look up, game by game by game, just stack a win here, and then just keep going, and then you're going to be, I wouldn't say in the thick of things this year, but next year and beyond, maybe.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the Big Ten. Big Ten's mixed. And what I mean by mixed, I mean there's a lot of mixed reviews on who can make it. Who do you believe in? I mean, we're in that talking season, right? But with the Big Ten, for sure, at least on my end, my bold prediction, and I keep going back to that episode from Tuesday, was USC making the playoff. That's a 50-50. And I've ranted about USC on different shows. I've ranted about it on Pigskin Frenzy all the time. If USC doesn't make it, I consider it a failed year. I know that's pretty harsh, but I think it's a failed year if they don't, with the talent they have and with the expectations now of, okay, you're saying, okay, it's a championship level team. We're ready to rock and roll, ready to go. And then you don't make it, and you're in year 5 when we've paid you all that money to go there. I mean, what are we doing? So do you think USC's overhyped, underhyped, or properly rated?
Prior to their center getting a season-ending injury this last week, I would have said that they were underrated, because I agree. I'm high on USC this year.
Yeah.
With their center getting injured, I now think that they're properly rated. And do I think that they can plug and play and move stuff around and make it happen? Absolutely. Is there enough talented players on the team outside of that position to make it happen? Yes. But losing your starting center, who would probably have been up for the Remington this year, is a tough scene. So I would have agreed with you in the sense of, like, I would have absolutely said they're underhyped. I see them making a push for the playoffs. and all those things, now I'd say they're properly hyped. I think they finish in the top 5 of the Big 12 regardless. Or excuse me, the Big 10 regardless now.
I mean, man. Their schedule's tough.
Yeah.
I know we're going to overhyped and underhyped teams, but I just wanted to touch on USC really quick. I think for me, I still am going to go with that bold prediction. I'm not backing down from it. Their schedule's tough. They're saying, Joel, show me some grace on it. No, I can't. Even though the schedule's tough, I can't show them grace. The reason why is because you have the talent to try to go match what these other teams are doing on that schedule. You can go outmatch them. Now we shrug and wait and see if you can, one, be physical up front, because I think that's the most important thing. If you can be physical up front in the trenches, whole other subject in the SEC, we'll get to that, because I just thought about Alabama. But number one, can you be physical in the trenches? Also, can you win on the road? I think that's very important as well, because they have not been really all that good on the road as of late. So can they do those two things? And if they can, they're probably going to be battle tested enough to make the playoff. Yeah. I'm not saying, okay, they're natty or bust. No. I'm saying they're playoff or bust. They have to at least make it. I know the schedule's tough, but I can't show them grace because, okay, we're in year 5 now. The money has been there. The resources have been there. Now you got to go and do it. So we're going to have to see. But I think USC is one of those teams where I'm 50-50 on, honestly. I'm still 50-50, but I still think they can do it and make it. If not, like I said on Tuesday, my stock and my investment is just going to go, and I don't know if I'm going to put any more stock into them anymore. But underhyped and overhyped teams in the Big Ten. We'll kick it off with overhyped. So we'll start with you. Who are your overhyped teams in the Big Ten?
My overhyped team in the Big Ten is Washington.
Yes. we discussed this. Yes.
This should not be shocking news to anybody. Everyone's big mad about my Washington predictions. I just think they're overhyped. I do. I think Kalen DeBoer was the best that Washington was going to get. And I just don't see it happening this year. And everyone's like, Savanah, what do you even mean? Okay, they start off week 1 with Wazoo at home. Never throw everything you know about college football out the window on rivalry week. Then have it be week 1, throw everything that you still didn't throw out again. Because if Wazoo's going to win one and steal one from Washington, it's going to be that one. And so, I don't know. I'm just not high on them. They have a tough schedule. The travel from the Pacific Standard Time to freaking Michigan or Ohio or whatever, like, those start adding up. And so I am not, that is my overhyped team. Do you want me to give underhyped, or are you giving your overhyped?
Oh, you can do both. I am enjoying this. I am listening.
My most underhyped team is Wisconsin.
That's interesting.
Yes, I am high on Wisconsin this year. And here's why. It's Luke Fickell's 3rd year, right? And when I think Wisconsin, I think dogs on the O-line, right? I just think they're going to just bust your butt on the line of scrimmage. They're changing their offensive scheme. They were an air raid, and now they're going to make it more like run the rock, which I think they'll thrive in. Last year, they were better than their 4-win record. They had the hardest schedule in all of college football last year. This year, the schedule is much more manageable. They didn't have a lot of turnover of talent. They added good depth. And so I think that they take advantage of the schedule that they wish they had last year, but that they got the reps in of taking care of last year.
And they have Colton Joseph, too.
Yes.
They have Colton Joseph coming in from Old Dominion. So, and he was good at Old Dominion. Can he be that guy for them at Wisconsin? That's another question. I think the reason why I put them at 13th in my conference standing projections, finishing there, is because of, do I believe in them in terms of injury wise? I think conditioning is very important for them. They have been beat up the past couple of years, and I think that's the only reason why I'm a little bit taken aback by Wisconsin. I want Luke Fickell in Wisconsin to do good. Like, I really do. Like, I really believe in Luke Fickell. I just don't know. And that's why I say that. I just don't know. I'm a little timid on Wisconsin, only because of the injuries and the conditioning. But I think Colton Joseph's going to be he can be really good for them, maybe. So we're gonna have to figure it out. I know that Notre Dame's gonna be a tough game, but that's gonna be a very tough game. But we'll see. We'll see. Are we gonna get a week 1 upset? Who knows? That would be shocking if we did. I think underhyped would be Minnesota for me. I think Drake Lindsay has a chance to break out, and when he does, I think Minnesota can be a problem. I think running the football, I think is a big thing they need to get better at. Yes, but defensively, they got 2 solid edge rushers, so they got a solid defensive line. I think that Minnesota has a chance to be really good.
Yeah,
I think Northwestern's a question mark. And I say Northwestern because I mentioned that with Brooks Austin, and he was shocked that I mentioned Northwestern. He was like, I didn't really look into Northwestern. But I'm looking into Northwestern only because of the Chip Kelly factor. I know Aiden Childs is there at quarterback. Can he be the quarterback that he was promised to be coming out of high school? Can Chip Kelly turn that offense into a well-oiled machine like he did at Ohio State when he was there? I always think that Chip Kelly's a better offensive coordinator or coach in college, better than he was in the NFL. I've always said that. I'm just curious about Northwestern. I will say underhyped a little bit. I don't know if they're going to be phenomenal by no means, but I just wouldn't look past Northwestern a little bit, especially with the Chip Kelly factor there on offense. So I think overhyped would probably okay. I don't know about overhyped in terms of if they're talented. I would say probably Penn State. I think Penn State's talent-wise is good. I think they're going to be overhyped and not battle-tested because of their schedule. Now, in my bold prediction, I said this as well. They're going to be ahead of Ohio State by November. I think they will lose one of those games, and then Ohio State will reclaim the second spot or whatever, and then go to the Big Ten Championship. I think Penn State will drop one of those games. I do. Washington or Minnesota. I don't know which, but I think they're going to drop one of those games. That's my wild prediction about Penn State, but they don't have that hard of a schedule, obviously. They have one of the easiest schedules in the sport. USC, Michigan, Washington, Minnesota are really their tough games. That's it. Other than that, I mean, in Wisconsin, maybe, but other than that, they're going to beat everybody. So, are they truly battle-tested enough? Are they truly a strong unit? And dude, don't get me wrong, I like Matt Campbell. I am a Matt Campbell guy. I would run through a brick wall for Matt Campbell. It's not really them. It's how the schedule's aligned. And are they going to be battle-tested enough in the long run? That's my only thing about Penn State. That's why I overhyped him a little bit. I think Nebraska is overhyped a little bit too. I think a lot of people think Nebraska is going to be better than they actually are. That's nothing against Matt Rule either. I just think that their schedule is going to be too tough. I think Anthony Colandrea could be a really good quarterback for them. I just think Nebraska is just a little bit, based off that schedule, just a little bit too overhyped, and everyone thinks that they're going to be better than they actually are. I just don't see it right now in Nebraska.
Yeah. I think Anthony Colandrea is the type of guy you want to be your quarterback. He wins the locker room, right? He's a good quarterback. He was the Mountain West Player of the Year last year, and prior to that, he was at the University of Virginia, right?
Yeah.
I think that Nebraska these days is a hard place to win college football games, and you're right. Their schedule does them absolutely no favors.
Yeah, absolutely. SEC, and then we'll wrap up. And the big story of the SEC, we already know the big story of the SEC. And they're my overhyped too, but not too overhyped. It's LSU. I think they're overhyped. I think they will win 9 games and barely miss the playoff. That's my prediction. They'll barely miss it. It's not because I don't think that they're good. I think they're going to be phenomenal. I think their starting lineup's good. Question mark is offensive line. Can they run the football? Those two things. Sam Levitt is supposedly healthy. He looks good in practice right now. Down the stretch, how's that going to play into an effect? But also at the same time, do they have enough depth to compete against a Texas, a Georgia? Do they have that depth? I don't know. And I don't know if they do or not. They have a really good starting lineup. They spent a lot of money on that 22, but are they going to be a well-oiled machine in terms of a whole roster, a depth, deep team? I think that's going to take time. Year 2 or year 3, strap a rocket, boom, right now, year one, I think too many expectations are being put on them. Playoff national championship or bust is the wrong thing to say about this team, I think.
Yeah, so I think that the reason people have the national championship or bust mindset is because LSU is the type of university that gives you every single tool to win a national championship, right? And so then you don't deliver a national championship, that's dicey. And the only head football coach ever in LSU history who didn't deliver a national championship was Brian Kelly.
Who? Sorry, what?
No, you're good. Was Brian Kelly. And so you really, here's my thing, and this is my hottest take, and I said it on a pod the other day. I don't know if Lane Kiffin is a national championship winning coach. And everyone can be mad if they want, but has he done it? No.
It's a bold take, but it's true. It's a bold take, but I understand what you're saying.
He'll take a team from 7 wins to 10 to 11 to the playoff. Yeah. But is he winning national championships? He's not. And look, that's not to say that they're not hard to win, right? Like, I understand, and I'm not dogging on the guy, but everyone's like, this is the guy who's going to win us a national championship, and he hasn't done it yet. So I'm just like, again, that's probably a very, very hot take, but I don't know. I'd love to see it happen, because then he'd be proving me wrong. And again, I'm rooting for everyone to prove me wrong if I'm doubting you, right? I'm rooting on nobody's downfall. And so I'm like, yeah, prove me wrong. Great. I'm happy to be wrong. But I agree. I think they're super overhyped. You don't know what you're going to get with Sam Levitt. Like you said, the health. And you don't know what you're going to get depth-wise because they don't have it. Their linebacker room's solid. One of the probably the best in the country.
Yeah.
But like, linebackers don't win you college football games if you have no line of scrimmage. If you have no one to catch the ball, if you have no one to give Sam Levitt time, I think that they are going to lose against either Clemson or Ole Miss. My prediction is that they lose to Ole Miss and they beat Clemson. And losing to Ole Miss, I think, will set the tone for their entire season, and it will go poorly. If they win that game, then I think that they're absolutely set up for success and have a great season.
Currently, the line, I believe, is Ole Miss by 6. I believe is right what it is right now. It's set out. I think Ole Miss is the favorite to win that game right now. A lot of people are hooked on Ole Miss, and I'm trending towards that direction. I think they are a little bit overhyped too. And a lot of people are gonna say, okay, LSU's overhyped. Yeah, maybe. I think Ole Miss is good, but I don't know if they are. I mean, are they playoff good? I don't know about that. I think their schedule's tough. I think there's games on their schedule where they can easily lose, and then that's going to put them out.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to say, oh, Ole Miss made it far with Pete Golding's team. That wasn't Pete Golding's team. Sorry to say that. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, dude, you're being a homer at LSU. I'm not. I'm being honest. That was Lane Kiffin's team. It was. This is Pete Golding's team now. You get Trinidad back, or Winidad. I think Trinidad Shameless is a phenomenal quarterback.
Phenomenal.
Kewan Lacey, going to be magnificent. He's one of the best in the country, not just the SEC.
Yes.
I just don't know if they are going to be able to handle that schedule. Because they did lose some pieces. Sure. I think the team's going to look a little bit different than last year in terms of how they are coached and how schematically they are. I know John David Baker's a solid offensive coordinator. He was with Lane. So everyone's going to say it's going to look different. I think the question mark for me is the secondary. Do they have enough depth at that position to, at least to guard a lot of the elite talent at wide receivers that they're going to be facing this year? I don't know if they do. I think Ole Miss is a little bit overhyped. I think they're going to be good. I just think they're going to be a little bit overhyped in terms of, okay, this team's going to be contending and all that. Another one for me is Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's going to show me something. That's another one. I've explained a lot about OU. I don't see – right now I have OU at 7, I believe, 7. I think OU's got to show me something. I think – offensively. Now, defensively, I'm not mentioning defense. They're elite. They're the best defense in the SEC. I think offensively, they got to show me something.
Interesting. I don't know if I have anybody else who's overhyped outside of LSU in the SEC, but I can definitely tell you that my underhyped.
Yeah.
I think I have two, one Auburn and
That's
two
mine, yeah.
Kentucky.
Okay.
And here's my thing. Look, do I think either of these teams are going to the playoffs? Absolutely not. Do I think that they're winning the SEC? Absolutely not. I do not. But Alex Golesh did well against SEC teams at USF. Did very well. And brought his quarterback, who again did well against Alabama ×2 and Florida. And look, was Florida a bottom dweller? I don't care about any of that. He did good against SEC talent because Florida, bottom line, has a very talented roster. They need to do something with it, but they have a very talented roster. I think that they do well this year. I think it's like 7-5 season. They lost some pieces, right? They lost one of the best wide receivers in the country.
Yeah.
But I think that they, again, are playing with no expectations, really. And so why not? Look, I don't think they're upsetting Alabama at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I don't, right? But, like, I think that they do well this year and that it's a setup for success in future years. And same thing with Kentucky. Kentucky was trash last year. And it was probably my, like, most hated take that they were trash. And then they were trash, right? Here's the thing. I'll own it if I'm wrong. Look, I'm happy to be proven wrong. Again, I'm rooting for all these people. This is their careers, their families, their livelihood. It means something to them and to me. And so, like, I'm not rooting on anyone's downfall, but they were trash last year, right?
Yeah.
And their O-line is going to be filthy this year. For Kentucky, the O-line is going to be amazing. For Will Stein to say that his O-line is as good as any that he coached at Oregon, that means they're dogs, right? And so I think you can do a lot with having a good offensive line as like a base. Now, are they going to go to the SEC championship? Absolutely not. A great season for Kentucky would be to get to a bowl game, but I think people have them finishing bottom of the freaking barrel SEC, and I think they pull one or two out that shock people.
I think for me, and you're right, I think Auburn and Kentucky are mine as well. I think Auburn is going to win at least 8 games. I think maybe the 8th game would be like their bowl game, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's to me, a successful first season for Alex Golesh. Turning that around would be phenomenal. And they got a quarterback finally. I mean, Auburn has been like, okay, somebody give us a quarterback. We need somebody to compete against these teams who can throw the ball a little bit, but it also can be like a dual threat type quarterback. And they have that with Byron Brown coming in from USF. Yeah. A lot of that USF roster is going in to Auburn. I think Auburn's got a strong shot at winning 8 games. Now, Kentucky, I cannot wait one day to have Coach Will Stein on the show. I've been lobbying for that for a long time. I had their SID on Susan Lack. She is awesome. Oh, man, Kentucky was awesome watching them at Media Days and watching how fired up he was. And basically just kind of being, like I said, Kirk Cinetti-esque. Like, why do you think this team's going to win big this year? It's because of me. I love that confidence because he believes in himself as a head coach. And it's starting to sound like, and from what I'm seeing and hearing, that they're buying into him, his philosophy, him as a head coach. And I think they can try to do something now. Very, very tough opening weeks. I mean, Bama, A&M back-to-back. That's tough.
It is.
But he's got me believing. He's got me, okay, you're selling me, right? You're selling me on the team. So like I said, and like you've said, do I think they're going to win the SEC championship, going to go contend? Probably not. But, man, if they do really good this year, strap a rocket. That's all I can say. Strap a rocket to Kentucky. They actually may be a really good team long-term. So it's not about short-term. It's about long-term. That's what it's about. It's about long-term. That's what college football is, long-term success. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you getting on. One more question before we wrap up.
Perfect.
Have you tried any new things lately? Have you done any new taste tests lately? We still have to get you back on to do a taste test.
Yes, we have to do a taste test of something. What you tell me. Have your audience tell us what they want us to taste test.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have I done anything fun? Any fun taste tests lately? I don't know. I did a couple like candy type ones and drink type ones this summer, but I didn't have anything that I loved. And you know what? That's just kind of how it works sometimes. You taste stuff that doesn't end up being something you like. So nothing crazy lately, honestly, though, but I'm due. I'm due for something good.
Man, we need to get you back on to try something. I just don't know what it is. Like you said, maybe you have to do a poll or a comment below kind of post like, hey, when Savanah comes back on the show, we got to try to get a taste test going to try something. And I'll do it with you.
Perfect.
We got to figure it out. It just got to be something that sounds interesting, at least. Sounds very unique and interesting. Savanah, thank you for joining. We are out of time. A big thank you, guys, for tuning in each and every week. And not only that, just tuning in on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. Just sit back and watch and listen to some college football coverage presented by us. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, and leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple. All you have to do is just share around with others, follow on there as well. Buzzer, TikTok, X, Instagram, at Pigskin_Frenzy. Hit that follow button. And not only that, catch us on True Voice Digital, inspiring faith-based content, unfiltered analysis from me and others on there as well. Guys, we cannot be more thankful for you guys. We cannot be more thankful for our Lord and Savior Jesus. Without him, we would not be in college football media, so we glorify him and praise him always. So guys, coming up on Tuesday, Cole Thompson from SEC Unfiltered comes on the show. Next week, we have George Reister also coming back on the show from Unafraid Show and On 3 now. What a great thing that I saw yesterday. We're definitely going to congratulate him once we get on the show. Do an extra golf clap for George Reister. Cannot wait for him to show up and cannot wait for next week's episode with Cole Thompson as well. Guys, until Tuesday, that's Savanah Tujague. I'm Joel Norris signing off. For everybody out there, please and always stay the course.